Hello and welcome back again. After both The Dominatrix and Master of the Skies, they end up releasing their third album, and of course there's differences. The only real change in this band is the drummer, Mark Marsom. The only difference, because Chris Lowe, the guitar player and founder of the band, actually will end up taking the role of being the singer. So, with this lineup, in July of 1986, we heard the follow-up to the two, and it was After the Fall from Grace. This is by far the band's, probably my favorite from the band. And definitely in some ways, even their best. Sure, the Dominatrix EP can be definitely second runner for being one of my favorites from this band. But this album, about this, just seems very much well put together. It seems like, and the production, huge change in production. It no longer they sound like a band that stood in their demo stage. Everything about this sounds earthy. It sounds very well live. It sounds like they were in top, performance. Just everything about this is just great. With, of course, the two tracks on here, Call to Arms and We Came, We Saw, We Conquered. Wow. Just those two together, if you were going to put those as one track, it still would end up, doing its job, because you have to play these two at the same time. You have to start with Call to Arms, and then We Came, We Saw, We Conquered. You have to. It just works very much great, and of course it just keeps on going with the title track. Oh geez, Trial by Fire, which is actually the thrashiest song on this album. And there's still great, Age of Innocence. Oh fuck. Flesh and Blood, Destination Unknown. And of course there's like an instrumental on here, titled Panasthenia. It just serves as a bit of an intro just to Age of Innocence. And of course we have to talk about the last song on here, Tales of Mystery. Oh boy. If there's one thing that I actually really like the most about this album, is that it ends, it starts strong and ends strong. Just, to me, one of my favorites of here has to be Call to Arms, We Came, We Saw, We Conquered, the title track, and Tales of Mystery. Tales of Mystery is the most melodic song by him. It's almost a bit of a ballad in some ways, but it's not really a ballad. It's just a very more, it was a little proggy in some ways with this album as well, but it's got a bit of a Queensryche feel to this album. Of course, Chris Lowe, who's not just he's a great guitar player, but he's also a pretty good singer, and this whole album is melodic all the way through, and the singing on here it ends up fitting. He really pulls off a great performance. And with Tales of Mystery, this is where he really shines the most on this. It's just one of the best songs. It's a very Queensryche song, but it still has a lot of heavy, real punchy riffage to hear. Very Priest sounding on here, and it's just, with this whole album, to me, this is by far my favorite from Savage Grace, and I will say that most of the time. Every time Savage Grace, this is my favorite. Just a strong, solid album from start to finish. There really isn't a bad song on here. With even the instrumentals, whatever, it's like the band really was trying to go at least all out with this. So besides the music, one of the other noticeable things about this also the artwork. Of course, it's Savage Grace were trying to go for a bit of that kind of controversial like artwork, kind of very similar to Scorpions and UFO. They wanted to make something that really can kind of can piss some people off in some ways. If this band was was new today, there would be a lot of controversy as well. With the whole SJW and feminism and all that. This band would get a lot of heat, and even probably now they'll still get some heat over it. It's definitely just one of the aspects about Savage Grace that really kind of appeals, as well as just the kind of very controversial like artwork they would have. And with this one, this is just about the the guy holding the axe in front of the woman who probably beat. Who knows what the deal was, but the person who's actually holding the axe is actually Gene Hoglan, of course, drummer for Dark Angel, Death, and Strapping Young Lad, and even Death Clock. Just, it's definitely kind of funny that he actually portraying this guy on the artwork. It's it's crazy, but wow. But other than that, this album is just a solid album from start to finish, and definitely one of the band's best albums. To me, this is a much better album than Master of the Skies. While Master of the Skies is a great album, but to me the writing and everything was really just all came together on the sound. They really sound like they were coming into their own. It's like they really weren't trying to sound like Judas Priest or Iron Maiden or Thin Lizzy. They wanted to take those influences but put into something that can be all of their own. And that's pretty much what I got with After the Fall from Grace. Just even more of a matured album in some ways as well. This is just a solid album. I can't say enough about. I can't praise it enough, I shall say. Just a great album. So, of course, after this, there'll definitely be an EP, which I will review as well. So, what are your thoughts on After the Fall from Grace? Do you think this is one of the band's best? Do you think it's not as good as Master of the Skies or, the Dominatrix EP? Or do you think it's probably the weakest? Who knows? What are your real thoughts on this? Leave that all in the comments section. So until then, this is Heavy Thrasher saying I'm out. And I'll definitely see you again as this month rolls on.